say kids like you have to be front so you can watch it closely.
Well, you're watching us by listening to us. Yay! Good! Keep the smile!
What you need, what is that? The red eye?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, the camera will flip the flash 4 or 5 times before it actually, that's what you need to get.
Prostitute.
Which one's yours?
They went to and now.
Where is Amos?
Oh, he's got one back already?
Did you know that the other, he was younger and now he's... I don't know. Does he still call me that?
You know?
The Ilula Health Center, the chapel and lecture room with Dr. John Hillary and Phoebe M. Sagomba, the Ringa Diocese health officers. A mural on the wall depicting the Good Samaritan health and medical theme, along with some of the items for display. Mr. Dennison Gedde, the team leader of our companion program, joining the other folks who are looking over a portion of the health center, one of the in-house examination rooms.
Time, usually we are very, very busy and we don't encourage. There's no holidays, no one, everybody's around. So at least from May to October, usually we have few patients. And the weather is good as it is right now. Although it's a bit windy. We only have some.
Deal with typhoid.
Yes, we have typhoid. Typhoid, malaria is leading, and also gastroenteritis.
And on-campus housing for staff and workers at the Ilula Health Center, one of the in-house wards with several of the beds located there. And then a visionary project that they have in mind is the development of an operating theater. They need to do this to upgrade to a hospital status, and they are doing that by adding on to and refurbishing a building on the campus. Solar panels at the Pomeran Secondary School, one of the two church-sponsored schools in the Iringa Diocese, showing some of the dormitories, the newly refurbished science building, staff housing, and we are going to participate with one of the choirs.
Here's your pastor too. Let's. God love, are you bringing the hati with? Okay.
My name is Bahati Sangha.
Sangha.
And you continued success here in school.
This is the old main building on the Tumaini University campus. constructed in 1993, started in July of that year. And here is the one front side of the administration building, and you see Mary Bloomquist walking to the front door of the administration block, and then panning down to the other side, the other end of the administration building from the front. Inside, you are greeted with this beautiful setting, especially that rock wall work on the back. And there is the Bloomquist Conference Center, donated in large part by the Bloomquist family and named in their honor. And those dark areas are the containers that have been sent over, with walls built in between and a roof over the top, making a wonderful storage area. The new library that had its beginning in 1998, Old Main again, with its construction. And then noting on the plaque the dedication of the library taking place on the 18th of November in 1998. And as we go inside the library building, we will be able to observe the many books that were sent over on containers in past years, now I think totaling nearly 170,000 volumes. Taking a journey up toward the male dormitories, several of which have been donated by congregations of the St. Paul Area Synod. One more shot of the library, one of the finest, largest library buildings in the country. And here is the computer laboratory with all of the units nicely protected and guarded. A dormitory room in the older part of the new Huruma Center, showing one of the bedrooms in that location. Soon we will see the new dormitory that is under construction, and that's the building that you see in the picture right now. And then we will pan over to an area where they are building a new toilet, and then the building in the distance is the old church building on the grounds, about 15 acres, that they now use as the kitchen for the facility. They have about 30 students, young people, on the campus right now, and I think they have a capacity for about 35. Here is Suzanne on the left, a worker from Germany who has been at the Huruma Center, and they now have another German girl by the name of Julianne, a chicken house that they have built, housing some of the chickens on campus. There is the matron, Here is Julianne, the current young German girl who is assisting at the Huruma Center. And into the picture is Constance, the matron. And we just ask you to note how happy the children look.
We've seen those before.
Good for tea.
Yeah.
Good for this.
Yeah, this is my daughter. This is belongs to this. Oh.
Them so the other children don't feel
I don't think we can take that time, I'm sorry. I think we have to be
Only
going.
5 minutes.
Only for the bat if you have bats.
We're going to do.
Put a guilt trip
Just
on us.
even a 1 cup each.
well, then we have to go to the back.
How about half a cup?
Jamani.
Seems like Times Digital's in.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
That's what it says. Times Digital's in.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
That's what it says.
Mimi sasa nimepokea mwingine damu yake walipima kwa
This tape is an example of what our life in our partnership parishes is all about, and it's a reflection of our companion synod relationship under the title Bega Qua Bega, walking side by side, shoulder by shoulder, hand in hand. We invite you to take this tape back to your congregation, share it with the people there as a reflection of something of the life and ministry of the people of your parish in the Ringa Diocese, and then to allow this to be a model for what you might be able to put together and share a similar kind of tape about your life and ministry with the people back in the Ringa Diocese. We thank you for the support and the encouragement that you provide in these partnership relationships, and we pray God's blessing upon its continued growth. Thank you very much.
The St. Paul Partners of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Tanzania, Ringa Diocese Water Development Program. Actually, this program is not about bringing water to the people of Tanzania. It's about using water to bring the gospel of Christ to the people in Tanzania. You could call it a water gospel. Tanzania is a very beautiful country with high mountains, deep valleys, lush green jungles, and some deserts. People there you will find are strong, gentle, kind, loving, and caring. But too often they have to go great distances to obtain water. This takes away from working, from family life, and of course from their schooling. Quite often the water that they get is either contaminated or disease-ridden. Let's look for a minute at what Life Water International is doing to solve that problem.
One half of the people on Earth are without the safe water they need to live healthy lives. "30,000 people die every day from diseases related to bad water. In developing countries, 80% of sickness and death among children is caused by unsafe water. For one half of the world's population, water is not a convenient luxury. For them, safe water is scarce or non-existent. These African women must walk a great distance each day to get water for their families. Their survival depends upon water. But after walking for hours, this is their reward. In the muddy bottom of this hand-dug water hole, they will draw water for drinking, cooking, and bathing. The irony is, this water so crucial to their daily survival is very often a cup of disease and death for their children. When a child drinks contaminated water, the consequences can be catastrophic. Dangerous microorganisms breeding in the water cause a host of diseases. Gastroenteritis, an intestinal condition, leads to acute diarrhea, dehydration, and death. It is widespread among children under the age of 5.
If they don't come to the clinic or if they don't come to the doctor, they'll die within 1 or 2 days. We have had that so many times.
Unsafe water also carries schistosomiasis, which enters the bloodstream, multiplies, then attacks a child's liver or intestines with near-fatal complications. The guinea worm parasite also enters the body through polluted drinking water. It grows to a length of 3 feet or more. It's very painful, and for children especially, it can be very dangerous.
What happens is that it produces a very painful condition usually a sore around the leg, which becomes secondarily infected and can indeed cripple a person. Villages have been known where almost the whole village has been crippled by this one infection.
It's not right that children created in God's image should have their health and their lives threatened because they lack something as basic and essential as safe drinking water. It is to these children and their families that Life Water International comes with a very simple gift: a lifetime supply of safe water. A gift that can help stop disease and keep children alive. A priceless gift that brings life, health, and new hope to entire communities. Today, a well drilling rig and a team of water development specialists from Life Water International make their way through miles of African bush to the village of Pendika in the nation of Zambia. Life Water has come at the invitation of local church leaders. In the months ahead, the Christian people of this small community will invest their time, manpower, and the little money they have, doing their part to help make the project a success. Bill Ash, founder of Life Water International, and Greg Hamer, a hydrogeologist, survey the land for possible drilling locations.
Yeah, I think we found several good locations in this general vicinity down in the swell here.
And you'll be discussing it with local leaders and church elders and so on, where the well would best be located for the population.
Most people don't realize that 97% of the water on Earth is salt water. 2% is frozen in polar ice caps. Only 1% is accessible fresh water. And almost all that fresh water is found underground. The exciting thing is, there are virtually unlimited opportunities in developing countries where a lifetime supply of safe water can be tapped only 50 to 150 feet down.
All right, you can see how perfectly perpendicular we've got this set up now, and that's important to make a very straight hole. The fluid will circulate from the pits through the discharge hose down to the drill stem. This one is drilled into the ground and cemented at the surface so no surface water can contaminate that well.
From the start, the work is a team effort. Life Water is here to train African nationals in all aspects of well drilling. This is to be their work, their ministry.
We need to reprime the pump. We'll press down on the
Normally we lay the drill stem all out in a nice...
Crank it down a little bit as you go.
You always allow the jaw to grip it. Keeping these lubricated is a good idea.
The great thing about this drilling machine is that it's portable, it's inexpensive, it's easy to operate and maintain. In about a month's time, I can teach nationals how to operate this machine and drill good water wells.
This equipment, we can drill a well in 3 days. That's something like 50 a year, providing safe water for each of those 50 wells for 400 people. That's 20,000 people in a year. And cost effectively, $3.50 a person. Now that's a bargain. And we're talking about safe water. where people are used to drinking disease-ridden, contaminated water, and sick half of the time. What a wonderful opportunity to share the love of Jesus.
The wells Life Water is drilling in this village in Zambia are the first dependable safe water sources these people have ever had. And now that they've proven they can do the work themselves, Life Water will leave the drilling rig in the hands of local Christian nationals, who will go on to provide water for thousands of men, women, and children in other villages.
We are proud that we are drilling these wells ourselves and proud that we are helping the people. And everybody seems to be responding very well as we take this water which is clean to them, and they are happy about the whole project.
Ine chanikondweresa chimene mwani kumbira mugodi uyu na mulungu wonse wamvera kuti chanikondweresa.
I'm very happy. This is what he says. I'm very happy because of the well that you've brought in this village. Even God knows that I'm very happy about it.
Every time a well is drilled, every time water flows up from the ground, local Christian leaders take the opportunity to share the Christian message of living water.
By bringing water into a village community, we are able to create questions in the minds of the people. They ask, why are you doing this? And we are able to tell them that we're doing this because of the love of Jesus Christ, who can give them eternal living water.
Right now, you can give the simple gift of safe water to a child like this. Such a simple gift, but what a lasting transformation it can bring. Your gift of safe water can help stop sickness, bringing health to little children. This source of disease and death can be transformed into a fountain of health and hope. And long after the work is done, after the drill rig and the workers are gone, your gift of life water will remain for a lifetime.
If
This is a video report of the 2 life water trips that were taken to Tanzania Ringa area in the year 2003. One was in June, one was in September. I'll show you some of the things that happened there, some of the things that the Lord provided. Here we are loading the box with the drill rig on at the Ringa Diocese headquarters in Ringa. That box weighs about 1,000 pounds. That's why they're having a little bit of trouble loading it. That's a 3-ton truck that they're loading it on. Here we are at our first place that we were going to drill at Malafu. The whole village turned out to welcome us. Here's our rig laying on the ground getting ready for setup. Notice all the kids watching us. The area we put the well in had grass about 10 feet tall. It took the people about 10 minutes to cut it all down. Here's the rig assembled with the hoses running to the mud pumps, the mud pits. And on the right is Dr. John Hillary, the maroon with the white hat on. And he's kind of watching things as they go along there. He was with us for 5 days there. The background with the floppy hat is Professor Jim Clark from Wheaton University, a hydrogeologist. And that's down there in Illinois. He was a great help. In order to drill, you need lots of water to float the cuttings back up the hole. You pump the water down and force the cuttings back up, and we went some 10 miles to get the water from this river here. And you'll see in just a moment how we got it out of the river into the barrels on the back of our truck. There you see it. Hand by hand, these boys and girls were just really happy to go for a ride in the truck. A lot of them had never ridden in a motor vehicle whatsoever. We're extremely excited about doing it, very helpful. The village provided a lot of work. Each place we went to, they did all the manual. Here we're sifting gravel to make a gravel pack that goes between the casing and the well wall. And it lets the water flow in. Here we're cleaning the sand that we used for the cement to let the wind blow it out. There wasn't a whole lot of wind that day. Most of the time there was. So we fill the buckets up with sand and mix it with concrete. Here's Nancy Baker from Hawaii, also a hydrogeologist, and she's out there playing with the kids. She'd given them a little lesson on hygiene and sanitation earlier on with Kirsten Cagle. Here we are putting the cement cap on top of the well. The well was only 19 feet deep. We had to stop because we hit bedrock. We're hoping that during the wet season the well will provide lots of water for folks. It will not provide much water during the dry season. Here's the village secretary, and he's actually pumping water in the well. He's pumping rather slowly. That's the crew in the background. We have 5 people there that are working full time. The white robe is Richard Labawa, assistant to the dean, and the left is the pastor. Mark Jensen in the background was with our team. Here's some more of our folks that helped drill the wells. This was at the dedication. And we had some banners made up here before we left, and we presented each one of the 3 places that we did our training at. And the banner says, gift of water, gift of life. You'll notice the hands, the black and the white hands, and the water drop. This banner's now hanging in their church. Okay, from there, from Malafu, we moved over to Kipaduka B. And it took us several tries before we could find a place to drill very deep. We got down 4 feet and hit rock, and finally found a place where we got down to 19 and got a good well. This place is the old Lutheran church there. It's now called the Lutheran Store. They sell things. The nearest town's about 30 miles away. Here's what the inside looks like. That's one of our crew members there, just going out of the picture. This lady coming in the picture was the store proprietor. And she had never seen herself on TV or a still picture, and she just hooted and hollered when she saw herself on the video that I played back for her. You see, they sell everything from nuts and bolts to clothes, and even umbrellas there in the corner. Here we are going to a Sunday service at Hemi. They had a very good choir here, and we can listen to them here in a minute. Very colorful, very animated, and very good singers, one of the better choirs we heard. Here we found that they had a well with a submersible pump, and because they had electricity, but it hadn't worked in about 9 months. And we were able to find out what was needed, and in September, the second trip, we were able to bring over another pump and get get the well running, and the folks now have water at Yammy. One of the things that happens at the church service is that they have two offerings, and there's a lot of times there's not money to be put in the offering. So what happens is the people donate things. You'll see here just in a minute where they have donated things they made, like a dress, and things they've grown, like potatoes or yams or chickens, something like that, and they'll auction them off in the front of the church. And here's a dress that's being auctioned off. That's a couple choir members in the background there. Everybody bids, and the highest bidder gets it, and the money goes to the church. You see the bag of potatoes leaning against the wall back there? And he's got a bag of, I think, onions in his hand there that he'll sell off next. Okay, we're up at Kitabaga now, a real high area, about 6,500 feet. You notice everybody's got jackets on. It was rather cool there. We could see our breath a couple mornings. Here we ended up drilling the well to 80 feet. We hit some rat holes, and at 60 to 80 feet we used over 60 barrels of water. Here's the truck going to get 4 of those 60 barrels of water. And again, you notice all the kids loaded on the truck. He's backing up so he can make a run at this hill. The grass is kind of damp and kind of wet, so he needs everything he can to get up. It's not a road, it's just kind of a field. He's bouncing out. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. You notice the air pollution there. Luckily, there's not a lot of vehicles over there that make that kind of air pollution. Or unluckily, whichever you want to consider. We were very lucky to add that truck because we carried all of our gear in it, and it was quite handy. Here's a young lady playing patty cake. The kids were quite interactive. They watched us all the time. Here's a young man that's got a wooden bicycle. Doesn't have any pedals, of course. It's more of a coaster, really. And he would go down the hill lickety-split, and just everybody got a hoot and a holler out of that one. Here's a bunch of the kids that were watching us. They all wanted to be on the camera, and we tried playing it back for them later. Had to quit just as we got to the end here because you see the crowd starting to shove to the left there. And a couple kids got knocked down. I was afraid somebody would get trampled, so we stopped, turned around. Here's a choir singing at the dedication of the wellhead. Here's the actual picture of the wellhead. Notice the cross, the name, the latitude, longitude, and life water in the upper left-hand corner. On the right is the local pastor. On the left is Reverend Lambert, who's in charge of this project over there. There's Jim Clark and Nancy Baker, Mark Jensen again. Here we're getting ready to present them. This is the actual dedication right here. Here's Nancy presenting the 5 people that are working as the well drilling crew. They stay there and do this all the time. And she's presenting them with Bibles that are both Swahili and English. And there's their banner. Pastor's holding it up. The second part of that trip, the June trip, was a hygiene and sanitation training. And here's one of the things that they learned, how to make a tippy tap, which allows you to wash your hands with limited use of water. Here's a discussion group in one of the sessions. There was 4 sessions altogether. Here's another where they're making the Jesus beads for the bracelets. And here's Asha, who's our full-time employee over there now. She's she goes around with the drilling crew and puts on seminars. Altogether in June, we trained 106 people to be instructors. In September, we went over again, and it was a pump repair was the main emphasis, and pump repair training was done. Unfortunately, I don't have any video of that. We also did spring development at Malafu, which was the place that didn't have a good well. Here we're doing some digging. See the water that they're using there. There's the water. We made sort of a T-shaped slit in the ground, put in about 10 feet of pipe in one direction and 6 the other way with slots, put gravel pack around it and rough gravel over the top. They make their gravel by breaking rocks. They find rocks and break them up with a hammer. And then down the hill we ran this 1-inch pipe, and you see the water coming out of it. Gravity flow system. And there's the bush faucet. You hold the pipe up, the water stops, push it down, and the water flows. When we were there in June, we found this Kitabaga water system that wasn't working. There you see some water coming out of the spigot there. We got the pump running, the engine running, determined it was not going to work too well, bought a new engine, put that in, and hooked it all up, and then we found we had a broken main leading up to the storage tank. In fact, we found a second place that was broken. And we finally got it up and running, and it's putting out 200 liters per minute into the tank. Here's some of the ladies that are dancing and singing. Here we're just really rinsing the pipes out, purging them, and putting in faucets. But the people wouldn't waste a drop of water. They had to collect every drop that we used to purge the system with. They were very, very happy. We also started a program of hygiene sanitation training in the schools. There's the 4 parts that it entails. We're going to add to it HIV training and also coloring books that will recall these things for them. One of the big things that was really popular with the kids was Asha and her hand puppets. She has 4 little puppets she goes through. Here's some upcoming challenges we have. Next year we hope to do the water system at the Lula Health Center. They want to upgrade that to a hospital, but they need water. We're hoping to bring water to this school at Kitabaga. We're hoping to fix the water system at Kilolo, which is similar to the one at Kitabaga. Hope to have a ELCT diocese all-country meeting at the Tumania University to teach hygiene and sanitation. When you go on these trips, you're bound to learn something. And we certainly learned a lot. We learned to throw away your watch and use African time. We learned that anything that can go wrong already has, you just don't know it yet. You can't fill up rat holes even with 60 barrels of water. You need to check your rig before going in the bush. You never use black beads to represent sin in Africa. Tanzanians are very spiritual, loving people. You always have many, many eyes watching you, and you want to go back again and again and again. Hope you've enjoyed this little video report. If you would like to be part of this, please contact us. If you'd like to contribute, we can certainly use the funds. All funds go to the Tanzanians and the work there. Thank you very much.